Happy Platinum Jubilee, everybody. We took a break yesterday, so there's a lot of news stories to talk about throughout the whole day. But first, let's start with Ukraine, the World Cup, football, and virtual signalling. Yes, Graham Souness, the former Scottish football player, was on Sky Sports. And before the Scotland-Ukraine game, you might have seen the clip all over social media. He came out and said, before Scotland even lost the game, which was hilarious, he actually said, well, let's just completely ignore the game anyway and allow Ukraine to qualify for the World Cup. Just let them in. Why? Because of what's happening. So football, basic tribalism, competing different countries and different nations, different flags and, shirt colors, mixing it with ultra geopolitical issues and conflicts, because that's the best way to beat Putin, I guess, right? Watch this clip, then I'm going to respond in a very, very specific way, because there's a flaw in Graham's plan.
For me, what FIFA should do, FIFA should say, doesn't matter what happens tonight, this team should be going to the World Cup, make a group of 5 somewhere. Ukraine should be going to the World Cup, simply to keep the name of Ukraine at the forefront of everyone's mind. We will get immune to the...
Yeah, he's going to rant for another minute or two on this matter. And nobody on mainstream media, for example, this was on Sky Sports, obviously, there were others around, nobody's brave enough to oppose him, to share a different point of view. Because why was it that in the 1990s, Yugoslavia didn't really get the same treatment? Yugoslavia, they were literally going through conflict after conflict, and they were the victims, right? There's a lot of stuff happened in the region post-1990 and the fall of the Soviets. And yet, in the 1994 World Cup in the US, they didn't get automatically qualified. In 98, in France, luckily they actually qualified themselves. So, but even if they hadn't, I can assure you, nobody would demand the FIFA would automatically qualify Yugoslavia for the France's World Cup. That's one thing. What about 1980s? What about 1980s when Iran was being attacked by Saddam and Iraq? Then nobody said that, firstly, have all these Iranian flags across London or Washington or Paris. Nobody did any of that. We were actually given Saddam a lot of support. I don't know what happened there, but we all know exactly what happened there, thanks to Jimmy Carter and his... and then what he created, the culture he created, and even Reagan continued doing the same thing. Unfortunately, nobody said that Iran should automatically qualify to any of the World Cups that we had, even in 86 and everything else. No, nobody did that. There is a reason. You can't defeat Putin by allowing Ukraine to qualify for this upcoming World Cup. We have already enough controversy with Qatar hosting the World Cup anyway, and you expect more chaos and more controversy. Do not turn the World Cup into another Eurovision. Bad idea. We're going to come back in half an hour with more news updates for you guys. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.